The college football season officially ended Monday, so here's a 3-round PFF mock draft for the Bengals. So let's go ahead and get started here. The Bengals have the 17th pick in the draft, and with that selection, they're taking Marshall edge rusher Mike Green. Mike Green is my favorite player in this year's draft class. He was an absolute beast for Marshall this season. He was the heart and soul of the Thundering Herd defense. In 12 games, he had 17 sacks, and he had 21 tackles for loss. He led the country in sacks, and he led the country in tackles for loss when it comes to regular season games. He had a 3-sack performance against Southern Miss and a 2-sack performance against Appalachian State. And I'm sure lots of people will talk about the lack of competition that Mike Green had while during his time at Marshall, but I think that's an absolutely ridiculous argument. Because this season, Marshall played Virginia Tech and Ohio State, and Mike Green had 1.5 sacks against Virginia Tech, and he had a sack against Ohio State. Because those were the 2 games on the season that he had much higher competition compared to the Sun Belt. And the fact that he played so good, I think really elevated his draft stock throughout the regular season. When you look at the fact there's a good chance Sam Hubbard might be cut, Joseph Asai is a free agent, Myles Murphy only had 1 tackle for loss and did not even record a sack this year, and Trey Hendrickson has just 1 year left on his contract. Edge is a desperate need for the Bengals. I think Mike Green can really fill that hole on edge that Bengals desperately need. Mike Green and Trey Hendrickson would instantly be one of the best edge rushing duos in the NFL, and I think Mike Green would be a fantastic pick for the 17th pick overall. The Bengals had the 49th pick overall, and with their second-round pick, they take Notre Dame safety Xavier Watts. Watts is probably my second favorite player in this entire draft class. His 6 interceptions this season were second most in the country, and last season he had 7, which led all of college football. Heading into the Ohio State game, he had 478 coverage snaps without allowing a touchdown, and he played a huge role in Notre Dame having this much success this past season. Xavier Watts, to me, is everything the Bengals wish they had in Geno Stone this past year, and there's a very good chance Geno Stone will end up being cut. I think Watts could take over Geno Stone's role in the defense, and I think there's a really good chance of it happening because there's lots of talks about the Bengals hiring Al Golden, the Notre Dame defensive coordinator. And if Golden is the defensive coordinator for the Bengals, I think that skyrockets the possibility of Xavier Watts getting drafted by the Bengals. I already want the Bengals to get Al Golden as their defensive coordinator to begin with, but then adding the possibility of getting Xavier Watts makes me want Golden and Watts even more. To say the Bengals secondary was bad this year is an understatement, but getting Xavier Watts could really fix that. Watts will be a fantastic selection by the Bengals. With the Bengals' 3rd-round selection, the 81st pick overall, they take Trey Harris, the wide receiver from Ole Miss. This past season, in 8 games, he had 60 receptions for 1,030 receiving yards with 7 touchdowns. He's one of the most consistent wide receivers in college football, having at least 900 receiving yards each of the last 3 seasons. It's looking more and more likely that T. Higgins will stay with the Bengals, but that still should not stop Cincinnati from getting another wide receiver. The uncertainty of Jermaine Burton staying on this Bengals roster, I think it would be very smart to get a guy like Trey Harris in the 3rd round. He can kind of be what Burton was supposed to be with the Bengals. And really, outside of Chase and Higgins, you don't really have any good receivers on this Bengals roster. Harris would be a steal in the 3rd round. You're really able to get some team needs and also best player available throughout this mock draft. The Bengals need desperate edge help, and they get Mike Green with a 17th pick. They desperately need a safety to replace Geno Stone, and they get Xavier Watts. And they get a big play wide receiver in Trey Harris in the 3rd round, possibly to replace Jermaine Burton. Overall, I think it's a very nice mock draft. Comment your thoughts and comment who you want the Bengals to draft. That about does it for this video. If you're new to my channel or you've seen my videos before, make sure to like this video and hit the subscribe button. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time on the Sports 2 Show.